have you been playing?
So, I haven't been playing any new games. I've been going through my backlog of old video games that I've bought and never played, because that's how I roll.
Nice, dude, nice.
So, since this whole quarantine thing started, I've gone through 4 games. Not going to talk about all of them. I'm just going to talk about one in particular. But what I've gone through, I finished Xenogears for the PS1. That's a great game. I'd play it more times if it was made in a time when you could skip cutscenes.
Oh, yeah.
You can't skip cutscenes, and you can't speed up the dialogue, the text. So...
Oof.
Is there like a way you could go into the options and make the text at least scroll faster?
There are no options.
Oh, totalitarian.
Yeah, so you're stuck on a super slow scrolling text speed for your 60-hour JRPG.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, disc 1 was like 45-ish hours. They jam-packed disc 1. Disc 2 was much, much shorter. It was like 10 or 15 hours.
Yeah.
With doing a lot more abridged storytelling. And it had to cut out a lot of dungeons. They had a lot of budget cuts on disc 2. But that's because other games were coming out. I think like Final Fantasy VIII and Tactics were coming out around then. So Square had to put some manpower onto those games. It's unfortunate, but I still enjoyed the game. Great combat, great music, and I'm a big fan of the Xeno games, so it was cool to see where that series started. What else? I beat the original Mario 64. That's a bad game. Nice. Don't play it. Ethan touched on this earlier. Wasn't expecting him to, but it's not a good game. It did not age well.
Some games aged really well. That game didn't.
Yeah, like any PS1 game, that's aged well. Like the Crash Bandicoot games, those have aged pretty well.
Spyro 1's aged extremely well.
Spyro 1 is fantastic. Mario 64, you have to fight with the controls to get them to work. And you shouldn't have to struggle to play a game.
I feel like the fucking controller's winning the battle when I do play.
Yeah. Like
I feel like it's like I'm going to start bleeding through my hand because I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I hate this N64 controller anyway. I'm sorry. Let's be real here. My comments from 35 minutes ago hadn't killed the N64 fans, and then Kyle hadn't then me, I've just finished them off anyway, so we can talk shit now. I'm assuming any N64 fans.
If any of you are still out there, I still like N64 stuff, so.
Hey, there's some games that I like, I just hate the controller.
Yeah. But no, the only reason why I even got Mario 64 in the first place was because my friend from college, he got into speedrunning Mario 64 this semester, and he wanted me to play it, so I bought it and begrudgingly learned 16-star.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice.
The 16-star speedrun, that's kind of fun, not gonna lie. But
I've watched people do it here and there, and I enjoy it.
It's pretty cool, and it's not like overly difficult to learn either. Like I pretty much got everything down in a couple days, and that was only just from watching my friend play. So
nice.
Yeah, Mario 64, bad game. Don't play it. It did not age well. Something that did age well was Mad World for the Wii, which I just went through. Freaking awesome game.
Great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. Great game. Great gameplay.
Really cool style.
It's Platinum Games. Yeah, it's got like Sin City graphics, black, white, red all over. It's so cool. Yeah, and it's Platinum Games. Like 2009, I think, is when it came out. 2009, 2010.
I think it was 2008. I don't know for sure exactly.
I don't remember when the internet got obsessed with that game as like a cult classic, but
that was a couple of years later after it released. But
it's a really good game, and it's
been like the first game that Platinum actually like did as Platinum. It might have got squeaked in before like Bayonetta or whatever.
Yeah, Because before, some Platinum Games employees worked on Beautiful Joe and Okami, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that is like Clover Studio or
Yeah.
whatever. Or
then they became
Joe,
Platinum Games, and
yeah.
the rest is history. Yeah, Mad World really held up.
Well, that's
the only thing is, it took me a few days, like 3 or 4 days to go through, just because my arms were getting tired from playing it.
Oh yeah, motion
like
controls.
I couldn't play it in long bursts. Shout out to motion controls. Yeah, that's an abridged review of 3 games I didn't want to give like full lectures to, but the one I do want to talk about is the one I just finished, Final Fantasy 1 for the Game Boy Advance.
Nice.
That game was better than I was expecting, to be fair.
Oh yeah, when you started it, you said your hopes weren't exactly super high.
Yeah. It's one of those games that gets easier as you go through it. Like, the beginning game is super brutal, and you're just trying to figure out everything, and, like, it's just not a good beginning game. It doesn't tell you where to go, ever. That's not just a beginning game problem. It never tells you what to do. Like, it has issues you'd expect from, like, old games, but I'm surprised, and I'm kind of surprised that the GBA version didn't, like, fix some of those. Like, there was more than one time where I went through a dungeon, and I'd get to the end of it, and it's like, oh, I didn't get this one thing from a place I never even heard of. What the heck? So now I can't progress.
Oh, that's messed up.
So, gotta leave, go to this stupid place, and go find whatever it is I needed to get, go through the dungeon again, and now you can progress. But, yeah, overall, I actually did find myself enjoying the game. There was a lot of things that kind of brought the experience down, but also a lot of things that brought the experience back up. Game was fun enough. I would probably do another playthrough of it with a new set of jobs. It's super replayable. Like, it's your classic job class Final Fantasy game.
Nice.
I haven't even gone to the GBA exclusive stuff yet, but that's for another time. And honestly, yeah, it was super fun all the way through. The only issue I had was the final boss was kind of BS.
Oh. How Square and their nonsense final bosses sometimes.
Yeah, so the final boss has a huge HP jump. The fight itself isn't hard, it's just so tedious.
Oh, right.
Basically, the boss before the final boss had 4,300 health, roughly. Final boss has 20,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Nothing prepares you for that. I went in with full ethers, full high potions, and like 20 or 30 odd Phoenix Downs, which are basically revives.
Yeah.
And I had 5 ethers left at the end of that fight.
Sweet Jesus.
Divvied amongst a black mage and a white mage.
Shout out to Ethan, dude.
Shout out to Ethan, the black mage.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Dude, you were like the best in that fight.
Of course I was.
You were hitting him for 400.
Yeah, that's a big hype right there, dude. That's some big damage.
I ended up having to turn one of my attackers, my monk. He was basically just the item giver of the team.
Oh, I love it when I have to do that with the party member. Just dish out the
there
items.
Goes like 200, 300 damage a turn just because monk has to now throw ethers to Ethan.
Nice, dude.
At least it's alliterative.
Yeah. Yeah. Final boss was not great, admittedly.
The origins of Square's, hey, we're just going to make this marathon boss to pretend it's hard. They like to do that with Penance in Final Fantasy X. Was like that. Yzmat in Final Fantasy 12 was like that.
My God.
Kingdom Hearts 1.
At least Yzmat gave
optional.
you decency to. You could also go and like save, and you'd come back and he'd still be like damaged as much as you did.
Yeah, Xenogears also did the same thing. Like before the final boss, you have to do 4 fights beforehand.
Oh man!
If you want to make the final boss bearable,
Oh,
Because
man.
basically it has like these 4 add-ons that power the boss.
So it's
So
like...
if you don't take out any of the add-ons, the final boss, you can just go right to the final boss. But if you don't,
Oh, it's like
then if you don't take off the
effect.
add-ons, 1, he'll get more attacks, and 2, he'll have a buttload more health. He goes from like 75,000 down to 40,000. If you take out the add-ons. Oh man, Xenogears was great.
Nice.
What a great game.
Nice.
Can't wait to start playing Xenosaga eventually. Once I finally get episode 3. When I can find it for less than $90 used.
Oh man, it's one of those
Yeah.
rare games. I ran
Yeah,
into
it's
a
one of
similar
those
trouble.
games.
I got interested in this game that Capcom made several years ago called Haunting Ground. Basically, it was another game born
I've never even heard of it.
It's a game that was another game born of Resident Evil 4's tortured development. Devil May Cry has origins as like being a originally it was going to be Resident Evil 4, but they ended up making it too different. So, yeah. Haunting Ground is another one of those.
Nice.
But
mean,
yeah,
that's
every
kind of how
time I tried to
Xenogears-
find that was super expensive.
Yeah, that's kind of how Xenogears development was. It was originally pitched to be as the original plot for Final Fantasy VII,
Oh.
but then Square turned that down because they thought the game was too dark, which I can kind of get that. There's a lot of like heavy religious overtones. It's a Xeno game. That's what they do. That's just how they roll.
Yeah.
Nah, dude. I played Xenoblade 2. There's no religious undertones in that one.
Oh, not at all.
Not at all. Evil
Not at
Pope,
all.
man.
It's not like Jesus of Nazareth shows up in Xenosaga 3 or anything. That's real.
Oh man.
Nice, dude.
From what I've heard, Xenosaga 3 is just the Bible mixed with anime. It sounds pretty
That's a
fucking
fun
cool.
way to experience church.
Yeah.
Go
Oh
to
man.
church with anime tits. Why not, dude? Why not?
With
You
Robo
know?
Girls.
With Robo Girls, dude. Why not?
It's a test.
Awesome. It's a test. Nice. So there you go, Kyle.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've taken care of.
How have you enjoyed it? Would you recommend everyone plays those games?
Not Mario 64, Xenosaga or Xenogears if you can find it cheap
Couldn't you
Yeah,
emulate
nice.
it if you wanted?
if you wanted, but I
Yes,
don't
but
endorse
we cannot
fair
legally
enough.
endorse emulation
I wasn't endorsing it. I was just
unless
pointing
you
out that it's an option.
unless you own a legal copy or know someone that owns a legal copy.
What if you know someone who knows someone?
that. Just emulate it with speed up.
No,
You'll be grateful for it.
no, we can't legally endorse it. But if you do it against our advice, then speed it up. Okay, all right.
I'm pretty sure on disc 2 I spent more time reading than actually playing the game. Disc 2 is basically just a visual novel.
Oh, but that's like
With the
that's like most
with the
JRPGs
occasional
nowadays.
gameplay
Isn't
break.
it? That's just JRPGs in a nutshell, though. Nowadays, though, that's just what they are.
With the occasional break that you get to use a kung fu robot.
Well, that's
Sounds
cool.
sounds like a good trade-off.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
That is.
No, the game's great. Please play it. Don't play Mario 64 though.
Play
It's
Mad
bad.
World. Mad World's cool.
Play Mad World. It's super great. It still holds up. It's a bit weird to get used to like not just killing everything immediately, but instead make creative kills
Yeah.
to build up your points
Yeah.
so that you can get through the level faster.
Make
Mad
kills
World's great. Mad World's great. A lot of the bosses are kind of hit or miss, but there were more positives than negatives.